Hello and welcome to an awful lot running a Doctor Who podcast.
Woo!
Hello, you awful, awful people. How are you all tonight?
Oh,
I'm asking
good.
that question as if they can answer me, but I'm so full of excitement. I'm so full of I was not expecting this right
Well, and
now,
you
but
were
I'm
so full
sort
of
of
excitement. I thaught you were talking to me or Star here, but okay,
no.
talk
Shut
to
up,
the
Robin.
audience.
I'll come to
All
you. I'll
right,
come to you.
fine, fine.
Get back on your step. Get back. Do you know what? Just for that, I'm introducing Star first. All right.
Oh no, no!
You
Don't
know
take
what?
away my
Tonight,
privileges.
my partner in crime, my partner in time, it's Star.
Thank you, thank you. But as much as I do love this, it's really Robin.
Yeah, it is really Robin. Yeah, it is really
Yeah.
published author Robin Fault. And I'm Jack Alexander, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm here. I'm guess.
So to clarify, just because we did that a little bit out of our order than usual, Jack, Robin, Star.
Yes, just to clarify, folks.
Any Tom, Dick, or Harriet. Robin's the dick. Okay.
Hey, I was waiting for that to drop. Moving on.
Right. Okay. So moving on. Yeah. Well, look. And Doctor who did not die.
Oh, well, isn't that just swell?
Yeah. Well, look, I genuinely didn't think we were going to be in this position. I look. We spoke about on the pod and we said about how the likelihood of Doctor Who being back in any form within a time frame of like 3 or 4 years was just not gonna happen, because we were like, we're gonna have to go for a new streaming partner and we're looking at, what have you. So we were quite flabbergasted when on October the 28th 2025 the BBC confirmed that Doctor Who was going to be back with us at Christmas 2026 with a Christmas special. Like, we thought the War Between the Land and the Sea was going to be the last chapter. And by the way, the mouse is out. Disney has left the building.
Finally, let's get the bubble wrap back out.
Yes. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's that's interesting, But then if you look at Disney's track record, they've not, they've had 2 series of Doctor Who under their moniker, if you will, but they've not greenlit any series for more than like 2 series that wasn't something they like held in the palm of their hand, like, at all. So it's really not surprising that this happened. It's just a shame that things came about, but let's keep things positive. Let's be happy. Doctor Who's back, apparently.
Yeah, well, considering we were saying on this very show how, I mean, just to quote you, Jack, you were saying about, oh, it's going to be years until we get anything like post-production, all of that, and just to have something, to have a Christmas special on Christmas Day that we can sit down and watch and love, like, that's such a feel-good thing. And yeah, it's probably gonna be that we have a while into something else. It's probably not going to be to 2028 at the earliest, 2029 more likely when we get another season. But even if we had like 2 Christmas specials back to back, 2027, 2028, I'd be down for that. That'd be awesome.
That would be my big hope. My big hope is they take the Husbands of River Song onto Doctor Mysterio sort of approach, where it's like, yeah, Doctor Who's taking a year off whilst we're doing stuff, but if they prioritized, doing this Christmas special with Billy Piper wrapping up whatever that is, and then got on to, another Christmas special with, going forward, or just, who knows, got a new series going forward. I mean, post-production wise, I mean, it's an interesting one. Maybe they could get a smaller episode count done for a series to premiere in 2027.
Yeah, like, I think they could have the opportunity to do a Flux-like thing. It would be tight.
Yeah, that, or like maybe like a 3 episode thing, like the 60th,
That would also be
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
You know?
Or like they did with the 2009 specials where they kind of just had it dotted around.
Yeah, you know,
Mm.
it's there's the potential for that. You know, let's face it, the pre-production and post-production on a singular episode or a couple episodes is ultimately going to be less time consuming than a whole 8, 10, 12, 13 episode series. You know?
That's the dream. Give us back those 12, 13 stories. Like,
Mm.
I miss those so much. I mean, even if they end up having to be a lot of like Earth-centric stories, like as long as they're good stories, those don't matter. It's just we want to have the time to develop characters more and develop their connections to the Doctor, as well as any sort of connecting threads to an overall story. Um, like right here on the podcast, we've vowed that we wanted to be a lot more positive with this brand new iteration of this series of our podcast, and
But
I
also fuck
think
the Rani.
that's well. I I really hate seeing just how much people really ended up shitting on season 1 and 2 of Gatwa's seasons. And I think what they latched onto the most was those end episodes to both seasons, which
Mm.
it's not difficult to not do in terms of when you look at a series, when you watch something, often it is the beginning of something and the end of something that you most latch onto.
Mm-hmm.
And if the end of something is really bad, the most notorious example, Game of Thrones, it makes it even more difficult to recommend to others. So if we can have it be a case of, hey, guess what? This series is fantastic. Come and watch it. It's got some gold in it. And it's just a shame that people just latch onto the bad so much. I hate that
I
so
get it,
much.
but I also understand it, Robin. Like, look, I'm just coming off of having a flu, really, and really,
Mm,
yesterday I was really, really unwell, not feeling well at all. Like, you know, I'm feeling much better tonight, but
that's
still not
good.
quite there. But so what did I do yesterday? I put on some Doctor Who. I watched I watched the pilot with my kids for the first time. They absolutely loved it. By the way, the
Ah,
series
nice.
10 opener. I did realize watching that, I went, oh, this is where I got the Red Twilight costume from. There's literally a bit where he's got like a red hoodie in, and I was like, oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been waiting a while for you to go, oh, hang on.
Like that's and in terms of like characterization and other stuff as well, it's like, oh
Hmm,
yeah,
hmm.
Capaldi reject.
look, series 10 for the win. But like
Real.
they watched that, and then having finished that, my daughter, who you know I've spoken about before on the podcast, absolutely loves Ruby Sunday. You know, she was
Hmm.
like, "Can we watch one with Ruby Sunday now?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And she was like, "Can we watch one with the goblins?" So I put on Church on Ruby Road, and you both know again how much I love Ruby Road, right?
Yeah,
You both
I
know
love her.
how I genuinely consider it like a 10 out of 10. Fantastic episode of Doctor Who. It was my favorite episode that aired in 2023, right?
Hmm.
Over Wild Yonder and the rest of the 60th, okay? Right?
Yeah.
I found it really difficult to watch.
Really?
Yeah,
Like coming back to it.
because I was like, oh, this is this doesn't amount to anything. Oh, this
Oh.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah.
It offered so many promises, which then it failed to deliver. And then of course, a massive thing in it as well is Mrs. Flood, and we all know where that ends up.
Mm. God, yeah. When you say it like that, it does make it far more difficult to recommend those series. Not because there's not great stories, but because of the revelations that you discover of them. Like in Space Babies, for example, all that sort of mystical stuff with the snow falling and the like, and it's just being like, no, she's not special, which in itself is a really nice message, but at the same time, just really poorly executed.
Yeah. Davina McCall, we can't find your mum. She's not on any databases. Unit, we found your mum. She's on the database.
Yeah.
Which obviously, you know, I suppose the argument there would be, well, unit, but yeah, still
Yeah.
bullshit, But as we know, the plan changed. Let's segue into I got 3 points I want to discuss about this special and a potential series going forward, because it does say, and I got to talk about the press release they did about they put out. But they said today the BBC announced that Doctor Who will be back on our screens at Christmas 2026 with a special episode written by Rusty Davis, with Disney Plus confirming that it will not be partnering on the next series of the live show. The BBC remain fully committed to the show and will announce plans for the next series in due course to ensure the Doctor's adventures continue. They did say thank you to director of the BBC did say, we'd like to say thank you to Disney. Here's the important point I want to cover. We're delighted that Rusty Davis has agreed to write us yet another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. We assure fans the Doctor is not going anywhere, and we will announce plans for the next series in due course, which will ensure the TARDIS remains at the heart of the BBC. I think this implies that Russell is out.
Yeah, I think because of the not great feedback regarding the finales, I think a lot of stuff has come back and he's just looking at his grand plan and being a bit like, yeah, this didn't work out how I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'll clean it up and then I'll go.
Certainly from how he's spoken about things as well, I don't think he particularly enjoyed working with Disney, and I can't blame him, because as much as we may enjoy some of their stuff, the mouse is the devil, hail
Yeah.
I mean, isn't another, I don't know if this was ever confirmed, but isn't another factor because it was too woke?
Well, that's potentially what stuff is going forward, but who knows at the time, which, by the way, and let's all say it together, Doctor Who has always been woke.
Yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that so many people as well use that word woke as a justification for them to lambast something, when actually, no, things like that have always been the case, and you're just trying to jump on the political bandwagon, which is a shit show. It's an absolute shit show.
Woke just means alert, awake. You're seeing everything. Anyone who's against that is like, oh, we don't see it.
The way I see it is woke means not being a dickhead. That's what I think.
Pretty much. I think that's a great example there. But going back on to what you're saying about Russell T Davis, I think another reason for them bringing him back is, well, he did get Billy Piper in most likely as a favour to get him out of a jam with Ncuti leaving, which Ncuti, wonderful Doctor, incredible actor. I wish him the very best. And any actor in any career should always look for other opportunities and never get typecasted. Does it suck how it feels like there should be an extra ending?
I also think part of that is because he was waiting around to be like,
That's another thing, and I will come on to that later with another thing I'd like to maybe discuss quickly. But I think as well, and I hope you don't mind me sort of jumping in here myself. I think with Russell T Davis coming back for this next episode and it being Billy Piper, well, I think they can do a lot with that connectivity. I think they'll rely on nostalgia once again to
bring it's worked out so well for him so far, isn't it?
Well, I mean, he's a man of nostalgia. He brings it back, and I think as much as it hasn't quite panned out as well as they maybe like it in places, I think this next Christmas special could see this iteration of Billy's character, who we still don't know who it is. I don't think it's the Doctor. I think this is just like some sort of new face or something, but I think this face is going to remind them of Rose Tyler. I think we're going to have them...
it's not going to remind them of Rose Tyler, is it? They're not going to go, oh, wait a minute. They're not going to, look, I'm just saying, imagine waking up with the face of your ex, like
Oh
Christ
God, yeah.
almighty, you know?
Yeah. Oof. No, no one's that. But like, you know how it is. A lot of doctors' memories can be quite fuzzy and the like. I think this will really jumpstart it, and I think they'll hone in on that, and maybe they'll go why this is the case. And I reckon this is an excuse to not only have Billie Piper maybe do some amazing double acting, because she is such an incredibly talented actress. I
Oh
think we
yeah.
could definitely see her playing both
I
this.
remember saying, I remember saying at the end of Reality War, our episode on that was that if look, the casting of Billie Piper as the Doctor would be phenomenal, would be life-alteringly brilliant if Doctor Who wasn't what she cut her teeth on 20 years ago, as Rose Tyler, as the companion,
Yes.
which, um, I think tying into what you're saying there, Robin, as well, I think maybe this is who knows what the internal conversations are, who knows what things are in terms of things. I certainly think Bad Wolf, who are sort of running Doctor Who in a way as part of the in partnership with the BBC, certainly respect and love Russell. I don't think there's any bad blood there. So I don't see
Oh, of
them being
course.
like, I don't see I don't see the BBC even really going like, okay, look, this is your mess. You got one episode to get yourself out of it and give it to someone else. Like, I don't, but who knows what's happening. I would say probably that Russell's probably stepping away now, having stepped in, but I think he took it on because no one else wanted to. So my
I
worry is that I think Doctor Who as a show and as a showrunner of Doctor Who, I think it's become this poison chalice. We look at what ended up happening with Moffat in some ways, and then it only quantified with Chibnall,
mm,
and then it only quantified again with Russell T Davies. Unfortunately, we have a very toxic fandom. As much as I love to stand on the stage at MCM and champion the community, we have a very toxic fandom, don't we? That's the truth of the matter.
yeah, but I think with the same thing with that, you can have him. I would never describe it as fixing a mess. Everyone's got a story that they want to tell, and sometimes that doesn't pan out for a number of different reasons. There's stuff behind the scenes, meddling, all that sort of thing, yada yada yada. But I think this is an opportunity for him to wrap up this idea for Billie Piper that he has, have her
Maybe.
do some.
But here's the thing: I don't know that he necessarily had an idea for Billie Piper. I think, and I think I said at the time as well, this could just be a clickbait to try and do something after the horses are rebolted, But
I mean,
hey,
hey, if it means that we could potentially get Jackie Tyler back, just for an episode, just give
yo,
us for
okay.
one.
See, look,
That's what I'm saying.
see
She goes
now you've
looking.
got me. Now
Yeah, see,
you've
this
got
is what
me.
happens. She goes looking for Rose Tyler. They get some amazing double acting where she can play two different woes, two different ways, and then you throw in Jackie as well. Boom, you got the queen right there. Like everyone's gonna love that.
Let me propose a different idea.
Oh, okay, Star, throw your hat in the ring.
Jackie Tyler's the Doctor.
See,
Absolute cinema.
look. Here's the thing: if it had ended with the Doctor turning into Jackie Tyler's face, I don't think anyone in the fandom would have had an issue with it. I think everyone would have gone, "Yo, okay, look, let's see
Yo.
where this goes. Look, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out." Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So I tell you what, that brings me on to my particular points I want to make out this special. Okay. Okay. Story-wise, I think I would like to see the idea of Billie Piper as the Doctor wrapped up within this one special, one and done, and then you get a new Doctor, or even Fade to Black regeneration. That's just it.
Yeah.
Or even, look, leave Billie Piper as the Doctor, but make it clear what that means, what that is, and then let them go off into the sunset, survival style, so we can have some stuff. But then when you come to a new series, you have a new Doctor, and you approach things very much like Series 1. Series 1 needs to be the blueprint here, I think. If you want to keep a listener base, not listener base, sorry, that is bringing me on to my next point, you see. If you want to keep a audience base or start new audience, you need to do not a hard reboot, but a Series 1 style New Who reboot. Okay, you can't have in your first episode of your first series have references to the Rani, to the Inquisitor, or whatever it is, and to, you know, all this stuff. It has to be accessible. It has to be, you know, and this ties into, like, here's my pick for showrunner. Okay.
Please.
Because this is the direction I'd want to see the show go. Okay, where you do have little flourishes and touches and references, but it's not in your face. Here is a Doctor Who reference. Boom. The Rani mentioned.
Yeah.
Rani's filling up a lot of rent-free space in my head, honestly. Alfie Shaw. I look at his approach for 11th Doctor Chronicles and that series, which in itself obviously fills a gap within the 11th Doctor's timeline. It's its own little era, and it's my favorite era of Doctor Who. So if I wanted to see someone take on the show, it'd be Alfie Shaw. But at the same time, I love Alfie. Alfie is a friend. I wouldn't want to see him have to deal with it. You know? Do you know what I mean? Again, it ties into that Poison Chalice thing there, you know? That's what I want to see for the special. That's what I want to see going forward. Robin, what about you?
See, for me, I kind of want to take a completely different approach with this. I think that we have seen. All right, fuck you too. What I see is, I don't like using that analogy of the poison chalice that you brought up, but I think a lot of people are weary of that. I think they can make the connection between the dots, and I think what we need to do is have a series where you're not spearheaded by one person, but I think we should actually have a series spearheaded by multiple creators of different beliefs, of cultures, backgrounds, and all these different things, so that we can come up with even more creative stories. Because we did have some incredibly creative stories in those last 2 seasons of Doctor Who. And it would be wonderful to have more things like that. With like being able to explore the stories, so it's not all as what it basically was, a lot of white writers in the room at the time. It'd be wonderful to have some more diversity, which it needs. And I think what we could do with a room of writers, you can have not only everyone have their cake and eat it in terms of different stories, different takes. If something doesn't work, that's okay. Treat it as an anthology, but also they can all agree on, okay, where's this going? What's this direction? And it means that you can have brand new writers come in and throw stuff in the wing, writers who are experienced in other areas and want to like do Doctor Who, want to do sci-fi, or even have returning writers come in. Like, come on, Robert Shearman back? That would be amazing. Like,
I
oh my God.
think Rob's happy where he is. I think,
I
you know,
I know,
you
but if
know.
he got offered an episode, you would do amazing, Rob. You would absolutely.
Okay, Star, what about you? What would you want to see, like, story-wise then?
Okay, but in terms of the special, deal with the Piper stuff in one episode, have it done. Maybe say, maybe have it, it's like to clear up that whole the boss thing. Maybe the boss is behind this or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Have it tie back into the boss.
Yeah, combine the two, wrap it up. RTD seems like he wants to go, so having that all wrapped up, nice clean empty slate at the end, so it can start fresh on the next series, be whoever it's doing it. Hopefully with another series, it's a fresh writer's room. I'd love to see them get some new blood. While it's nice to get the familiar, Doctor Who itself needs to regenerate to keep going. So it would be nice to see new writers, new creatives. Maybe the odd occasional returning writer, someone we are familiar with, just to have that tiny little bit of home. But like as a single episode out of however many there is, not like 3 or 4 episodes or an entire season is your buddy's backyard of friends. So completely fresh, completely new. Still want the odd reference. I think, like, as long as it's slow built and not in your face, as you said earlier, that works. I think Series 1 is a good point to bring it in because it had all the references to classic stuff. you did look at things and go, "That's a classic thing." It was subtle, like the Cyberman in the Van Satten Museum.
Exactly. We were drip fed, weren't we?
Yeah, little things like that to be like, "Hey, this is its history. It's not really important, but it's there, so you know it still matters."
Exactly. We
Hmm.
weren't scraping the bottom of the barrel. And let's face
Yeah.
it, look, as much as I love him, I don't need the Candyman coming back as the end series villain. Like, as funny as it would be to have, the doctor pick up the phone, like it's like, oh, the boss wants a word with you. Candyman! As wonderful as that would be, I don't need it,
No, I just
Coming Christmas 2026.
oh my god, that becomes the most popular suite of that Christmas as well as there was a
Fucking
no,
Doctor Who candy canes.
I mean, Star, you bring up a brilliant point because we never did get resolution as to the boss. And I think if we could just
Yeah.
have an episode just wrap up that loose end so that we can just
Yeah.
go in with new
I mean,
ones.
I think unfortunately, I think what you have to do is, because of how it's been presented, you kind of have to wrap up Susan and the boss. Like there.
Oh,
And
damn.
here's what it's just coming to me now, okay?
Okay.
Here's what I think you should
He's
do.
having an epiphany.
An epiphany, okay?
Mm.
This ties into what I wanted to say was overall direction of the show, okay? Here's what you do.
Okay.
At the end of the special, you have the doctor find Susan and they regenerate together. So that when you come back, you can have the doctor with his young companion, Susan, who is their granddaughter. And that's, you don't need to reference anything else going forward. It's just that, boom, there you go. There's the doctor, there's companion. Job done.
I like the idea, but I also like the idea of it just kind of being fresh.
Yeah,
I do as well. Will see.
I do as well, but I'm just saying, like, oh look, there you go. There's an idea. I'd much rather have the clean, approach.
I do think like that Fade to Black kind of ending, they both regenerate, start the series afresh could still work. You don't necessarily need the next series to start with Susan. There's just a gap, and we all know who's going to fill the gap. Hello, Nicholas Briggs.
Yeah, but also the fans. Let's face it. That's what we said all the way along. When we thought we were going to be having a sort of indefinite hiatus for a minute, we were like, look to fan work, look to fan creations and stuff. And, it's like, okay, this is going to be Doctor Who for a bit. But no.
Cough, Red Twilight on 77 years production.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Hey, I just meant podcasts. An awful lot of running.
I mean,
you get your podcasts.
That too, but also got to promote. You're welcome, Kat.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'm going to come to now. Okay. Because we kind of covered story wise, overall direction in terms of I want new writers. I want fresh blood. Essentially, I want young angry writers. Is what I want. I want young angry writers doing Doctor Who. I think that's when the show is truly excelled at its best. It's when it's people that are angry about things and people that are wanting to do something with it, wanting to direct that anger into making a change and making things better in this world. Okay, so here's what I'd say. Okay, production wise going forward, okay, whoever they need to find, whoever the fuck keeps leaking everything. Okay.
Yeah.
They need to find who that person is. They need to get better at having close sets and not letting people see them filming. As much as lovely it is seeing, Doctor Who actors, interact with the public and things like that, and being the ambassadors for the show that they should be. As lovely as that is, no more. I would much rather have total, utter NDA secrecy around it all and not know a thing going into the new series, right? I think Doctor Who, and maybe anything really, is better, right? The less you know about it going in. One of my friends very recently, shout out to Law, she just watched one of my favorite shows ever, Midnight Mass, right?
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, I know you like this." Like, yeah, I love it. I was like, look at nothing. Go in completely blind. The fact that you know it's a show is already bad. You need to, like the fact that you know this show's name, that's bad. No. And I was like, you need to go in completely blind. And because she did, she loved it. Like the less you know about something so that you can form your own opinions, your own ideas around it, the better. And that's what we need for Doctor Who really going forward. I think, yeah, we need to know who the Doctor is, who the companion is. Keep that quiet. Don't let us know the cast. Don't let us know villains returning. Throw us in fresh. Throw us in blind. Promote it. Do stuff like, the Trip of a Lifetime trailer or other stuff like that. Give us as little to go on as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I have to wholeheartedly agree with you there, buddy, because having spoilers for the most part is really shit. It really is, because it can spoil stories, and sometimes it can even force creators to take a knee-jerk reaction and go, "Oh, damn, we have to change something quick. Get Billy Piper out." No, but so that's I don't know why I went Billy Piper again, but it's like
Dead Russell T Davies.
yeah, marvelous. But no, like we need to definitely get better NDAs, but I think this comes around to another point as well, is that without that Disney money, I'm not sure the series is ever going to look as great as it did with those last two seasons.
I don't know.
Okay, this is where I want to step in.
Okay.
Because look, Doctor Who with Disney, very pretty. Okay, love pretty. Doctor Who is meant to be shit. It is meant to be bubble wrap, cheap effects. It's meant to be a little campy, quirky British sci-fi show. I don't care how much money there is.
Can I say
Just
something?
give us what you can.
Can I say something controversial? I think it looked better under Chibnall.
Chibnall era was gorgeous.
Yeah, right. Look at, if nothing else, just look at Power of the Doctor, right?
Okay.
Look at the cinematography in that. It's utterly gorgeous. That TARDIS set, 13 set, is probably my least favorite set, right? For the TARDIS interior, I mean. Okay.
Sure.
It is certainly by that point, it's shot beautifully. Everything inside it looks cinematic. You look at the new TARDIS in Shooting Atwood's era, and it just looks so barren. And
yeah, it's so big and open. It's so beautiful.
It's too well lit. It's too well lit. It
always looks better when it's got the color lighting on.
My favorite TARDIS set is the 12th Doctor's TARDIS, right? That is well lit, but not particularly. It still has that kind of dank feeling to it. It's too clinical, too clean, that and so much of it looks like that as well. We need a bit more. Start putting some Vaseline on the fucking lens, lad. Put a bit of shit in there and all. Like, it needs to look,
Yeah, this machine is fucking ancient. She's been around for a long time. There should be like some parts that are a lot more worn. It shouldn't be like pristine.
It's not just that, it's like the color grading of the actual show as well. Like, look, it looks a bit too like clean. It needs to look a bit more not washed out, because some again, me saying about Triple Era has some of the best cinematography of the show. Some parts of it look a little too washed out, but when it hits, it fucking hits. Like, Flux is gorgeous.
Oh,
right?
Flux, I love it. Yeah,
I love Flux. It's my favorite of the Chibnall era, in terms of series. And like, I think it just bangs, right? It just really fucking bangs, which is amazing considering it was made under COVID with so many restraints. It just bangs. Power of the Doctor, same as well. Just so that's what we need. And I think, if anything, maybe without Disney, maybe we can hopefully start. I think Doctor Who needs to look grim and dirty again. I think it needs to look a bit more gothic,
I mean, I think regardless how it's going to look, I think the BBC, I think specifically with this first returning series, I don't know. I could see them being a little bit more tight on budget. I could see it maybe being kind
Oh
of like a
yeah,
repeat
yeah.
of Christopher Eccleston's first series, where it could even be that they very much don't want to explore off-world stories, that they want to be like, can you maybe do more like modern day stories, or the like things that we don't have to do as much budget in this first series, just to make sure we get audiences back. We test the waters. I think there'll always be a place for Doctor Who, but I think with these last two seasons, the BBC are going to be a bit like on their toes, especially with Disney pulling out. That's just my personal take. It's
Mhm.
I think you could easily start off like a new series if you need it to be more earthbound. Take a leaf from the John Pertwee book, have the Doctor arrive,
Mhm.
do the whole thing, set it all up. TARDIS just doesn't work. Your arc for the series is getting the TARDIS back up. You slowly introduce the audience to the mechanics of the TARDIS. And then by the end, you finally, like the big finale, you finally see what it does. You finally see it in full. You've spent all this time learning about the Doctor. You've learned about what the TARDIS is. You've learned all these inner things. And then by the end, you've got this big galactic journey or something big in space that's above Earth. Very much like Bad Wolf for Parting the Ways.
Mm.
And you just kind of build into it, and it still grounds you to a modern Earth setting. Because if it worked for John Pertwee,
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. And I think that era really sounds because they do. It's like, you don't see no, like, the Doctor doesn't have the full control of TARDIS until season 10, does he? It's not until after the three Doctors. They do some skirting here and there, off world and what have you, but it's so they test those waters. Most of it is completely on Earth, set in the 1970s or 1980s, depending on, you know.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, if you still want to do different things, you could have like test flights. Maybe
Mm.
the TARDIS works, but it just takes you to a different part of the world or something.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
Mm-hmm.
really
It
like
only
all of
does
that stuff.
space rather than time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good idea, especially if you're if we now have to treat this as another new season one, making this what new Who. But yeah, no,
Just wait till we get the 15th New Who.
Mm.
mm,
But like, here's the thing. Whatever we're doing, we've got to do something to make it work. We've got to get people interested in it again. This is a place where, you know, unfortunately, let's face it, a lot of the biggest shows in the world take several years to make. Look at Stranger Things series 5 is coming out after after what, 3 years since the last series, I believe.
3 years,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're setting it 18 months after the last series, by the way, which is hilarious to me, considering the children from series 1 now look like they are adults because they are all adults anyway. But look, we need to future proof the show. We need to get new audiences in. New class last week for me, okay? Said to them all on my first day, I'm Mr. Alexander. I love Doctor Who. Not a single child in that room knew what Doctor Who was.
Oh,
Not a
oh,
single one. Room of 20, year 3/4 slash year 3/4. Not a single child knew what Doctor Who was.
wow. And if we play back the tape, we'll see the moment where Jack Hart's breaks right about now.
No, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
Mm.
Because in a world of K-pop demon hunters and actual shit, because Game to K-pop demon hunters is fucking great.
Yeah, do not diss K-pop
Hey,
demon hunters.
it's golden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Look, I'm just saying, Doctor Who, we need to be going up, up, up. This is our moment. We're gonna be glowing. Gonna be golden.
Whoa.
UK Star?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Well,
fine.
you wait, Jack, until we get Docky Who on CBBC.
I keep forgetting
CBBC.
this. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
the
Yeah.
CBB show. The
See,
CBB
They'll
show
see.
is
show you. They'll
happening.
show you how it's done.
Yeah, you know,
Mm.
they'll be our idol.
Hey, if Bluey can be a cultural icon for parents and adults and well, parents and adults, children and adults, like
No,
hell,
the blue is not for kids. It's for us.
You're right.
I
You're
literally just
right.
today as well bought
Bluey
myself
shows us how it's done.
yes. Literally today I bought myself a Bluey advent calendar for Christmas as well, because Bluey is peak. Like, god damn, yeah, I want to open that up for Christmas.
Nice. I want to get one of those advent calendars. It isn't chocolates, but it's little soda pops.
My little soda pop.
Yeah.
UK, that's it.
I feel like Star's about to take us down, so maybe it's time to head on over to the space-time telegraph.
So this is what it sounds like. The end of the world.
Oh, you see my strategy. Right.
I feel like I just threaded the needle there.
Absolute cinema. Let's go. Okay, so Space Time Telegraph, which is our usual audience sending section. We said Doctor Who returns Christmas 2026, and the Disney era is done. And I did a little mouse emoji with an X. What are your hopes for the next chapter? Story, direction, production. Tell us everything. And I said send them over. And of course, obviously, it's it's again because it's Christmas 2026. We had to make the joke, and you've seen it on the thumbnail. And Doctor Who did not die. Okay, so let's see. First one from X.com comes from friend of the show, Davis. Good old Samuel Davis. You'll see David Davis back when we finally do the end of that first series of Dimension and Daleks, which will be coming next year. Okay, so Davis says, okay, in terms of direction, right? For director rapper Boots Riley to start work on his follow-up to the 2018 anti-cap film, Sorry to Bother You. The host discussed the 28th film, Sorry to Bother You, for 5 minutes. I'm sorry to bother you, but I don't know what that is. I responded, we don't have to read this out. And we'll all. I responded through the podcast out saying, we're going to read this out, and we'll all look silly. And then Ben said, vacuum comment said, you don't have to read this out. This is Josh with the Centauran thing all over again. Has no one told podcast hosts they can skip over Twitter comments? And I said, oh, it's strange you want to bring up the Centauran thing and have us accredit you to it as well. Strange request, but you do you, buddy. Which, by the way, is, of course, the fact that Ben sent in a question when Josh had Dan Starkey on Who Knew. He plays Strax. And obviously asked the question about the Cannon Buster I brought up here before. That Centaurans have sex through their probic vents on the back of their necks. So, Ben, it's weird you wanted us to bring that up on this. I'm guessing that you're saying that's the direction you want to see Doctor Who going forward. I believe what Ben is saying is that he wants the Christmas specials to open with Centaur probic vent sex, which I say is, Ben, you're a pervert.
It's a bold new direction for the show. I'll give it that. Something that none of us will have on our bingo cards.
It's just a shame.
This is why I left Twitter.
It's just a shame. Yeah, I'd leave over Ben as well. Ben, just you can't see us right now, but we're not angry. We're just disappointed.
Yep.
Robin's gonna be the record. He will be able to see you because I will just use a video, just put you up.
Next one comes from Tinted Who. Tinted Who says, my hope is that they finally move on from the post-2005 status quo of mystery boxes, only present-day Earth companions, and bombastic Marigold scores. Also use the show as a springboard for new talent and get an unknown to play the Doctor who will survive the chaotic production. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point
Do you know
because
what? Sorry,
you go
Robin.
first.
It's because I had a thought I was going to say that it's really. Do you know what I do?
What's
And I've said this before. What do you know what I would do if I was handed Doctor Who? If someone said to me, Jack, you're showrunner, you're going to go forward. Do you know what I do?
what was that, my friend?
The first thing I would do is I'd say, okay, here's my first business expense. I would book out tickets to see as many as I could of the top West End shows in London, right?
Okay.
But with the idea of particularly being unknowns in them. So I'd be going to see particularly like the musicals and stuff, which don't have like big name known talents in them, but people that I know can work a tough fucking job, you know, because straight up, musical is fucking tough to do 8, sometimes 9 shows a week, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Completely.
Yeah. Insane shit. Okay. So straight up, you know they can do that. Okay. You also know they're going to be fucking talented because you can sit in the room and see them there. I would be seeing those new talents. I'd be going, right, that's who I see being a Doctor. And I'd fill the cast doing that. Okay. You don't need those big stars coming in. You need to make new talent and make it grow. So I completely agree with what Tintu's saying there.
I think that's a great idea, actually. And I am thinking that by having someone new as well, you don't risk them, going off for other projects so soon. Lock them down with a contract, make them on for at least 2, 3 seasons so you can complete a story, make sure you've got something lined up. And I never thought about hiring someone in like musical show business or just stage performances in general, but having someone who can work a tough schedule and is used to it, that's actually a really good, bold decision there, Jack.
Next one comes from another friend of the show, Joshua Carpenter.
Mm.
Joshua says, I hope the show moves forward more than it has. Sure, on the surface level, you could say it has, but there's still so much reliant on past work, past successes, rather than building its own era of timeless classics. Very much tying into sort of what we've said, I think, so far.
Yeah, no, I think it. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think that honestly hits nail on the head. Unless Star, you want to add anything else onto that?
No, I think we kind of covered all that.
Yeah,
It's essentially
We've
what
been
we said
very
there,
thorough
you
with
know?
this.
Yeah, we've been succinct, we've been persuasive. Herald of Creation, tying onto that, says, I want to see a program that is really an opportunity for new writers to develop their storytelling skills. I think story is the most important aspect. I am happy to live with slightly ropey special effects and limited location work if script and performance are on point. Again, basically summing up what we've said so far,
Yeah.
Yeah, something that's worked for like Doctor Who in the past isn't like its effects or anything, because up until we got like Chibnall era, Disney money, that kind of area, it's always kind of just looked a bit eh. We haven't come for the effects. We've come for the story. We've come for the performance. We've come to see these characters tell us what's happening, the threats they face.
Exactly.
If something looks a little goofy, like the Slovene, they look goofy as fuck. You can still make that really intimidating.
Exactly. Here's the thing. As a prerequisite, we go into Doctor Who suspending our disbelief, right?
Yeah.
It just has to look good enough, right? It doesn't have to look amazing. Okay. That's just a bonus. Okay. Okay. Next one comes from Aiden, who says, we need a storyline that pushes the show forward again, something big like the Time War or even Flux, but ensure that there are actual repercussions and change after the status quo. Don't rely on legacy villains anymore. Yeah, I agree with that. Again, it's sort of what we covered there. It's interesting to say something big like a Time War or Flux. I don't know if we need a big event. We just need a radical change in the Doctor's life. We just need them to go, I don't need them checking back in with Kate Stewart, I don't need all that stuff. I just need a clean break. I need series one approach. Again, dark, gothic, I think.
I also thoroughly agree with the whole. Maybe they'll bring in a classic villain, because if, as much as we love Candyman, if it was Candyman as the next major villain, the big boss, as much as we would laugh, we'd also be like, for fuck's sake,
I think, right, if you're gonna do it, because look, Doctor Who does have that legacy. It's got over 60 years of it now. It's got that legacy, and it's not right to not honor it in some ways.
Sure.
But I think you need to go right. Big three: Daleks, Cybermen, Master.
Boom.
And even then, if you want to look outside of that, you've got to go, can I really justify it? Does it actually add anything to me using the fucking Naimon? Right? No, it doesn't. Okay, I'll do something else. I'll do a different monster. Okay. Again, with the fucking, even with the big three, the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master, does it actually add something, it being them? No? Okay, I'll do something different then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you completely. I think if it justifies the story, then 100%. Because rewatching that stuff with the Wani, with Sutek, watching it with my parents, which was a wonderful thing to be able to watch that with family, with my fiance, but have all of us be like, who the fuck are these characters? Like, I'm a very sort of casual fan of Doctor Who, catching up with things. I had no idea who these characters were, and did I think they particularly added to the story from being introduced? Not really, no. Like, if they'd done them in a better way, like a better resolution, maybe, but having that be like, hey, aren't you surprised? Aren't you amazed? It's like, no, because we don't know you. And it's kind of like a big, who are you?
Exactly. It's not the same weight, is it? It's
No.
especially if you're going to keep doing the surprise reveal as if it's a big amazing thing where it's it's not Utopia. Sorry, it's not. Okay, next one, because I'm very careful of how we're running for time now. Next one comes from John over on Blue Sky, saying, I'm hoping with Disney out of the picture, there might be more flexibility around things like runtime, like there always used to be, and we'll get less episodes that were obviously hacked to bits just to fit an arbitrary 45-minute time slot, which isn't long enough, in my opinion. And what I will say to that is, that's not a Disney problem, that's a BBC problem, because they have to fit 45 minutes to their schedule, right?
Mm.
And unfortunately, that's just where it is. I'd love to live in a world where we could be like, okay, Doctor Who can be as long as it needs to be, or as it short it needs to be, like an episode of streaming, like an episode of a streaming show, right? I'd love to have that. We just don't live in that world, because end of the day, it's got to air on BBC One, and they've got to make it fit the schedule,
I believe we have one on Insta. I do have it already up if you want me to go for it. From our lovely friend, James York, who says, I hope for a Doctor lasting more than 3 seasons, plus historical companions and companions that are alien or from the future.
Bro just summed up his entire fan series. The Queer Doctor Adventures. Please go check them out, because they are amazing. I've been in a few. I believe that brings us on to our final comment, doesn't it?
Yes.
We had a ping in the old email box today, didn't we? We have, the first time in a little while, a Thomas Beach essay. It is returning from the dark. Hello, Jack, Robin, and Star. Just like RTD has agreed to write a Christmas special, I've agreed to send another write-in for the podcast, following the news the Christmas special in 2026, and I think a subsequent series in 2027. I feel good. I'm not bouncing off the walls or anything, but that might be my personal mood at the time. Slightly crying emoji. I have high hopes, as always, for Who. My first priority will always be new talent in front and behind the camera. New is king. In a contemporary world where we feel trapped within the past 30, 40 years, Doctor Who needs to embrace newness. Inspire the people of today, the highlights of the Chibnall era and RTD2 with the new talents. The story in the engine is still such a breath of fresh air. Obviously, as a writer myself, I want to champion new voices, and I see Who as an amazing platform to do that, just as Andrew Cartmel did in the mid-80s. Picture a world without remembrance of the Daleks, a story written by an emerging writer in the field, Ben Aronovich. The creative industry is in dire straits currently, and while Who's a victim of this, I feel that it should be a springboard for talent to develop, to then keep the industry going. After all, our film and TV is one of, if not the largest export the UK has. I feel like I'm about to go. I think I'm about to deliver like a party's political statement or something here now. Vote green. Furthermore, I want more creative set locations. A lot of RTD2 felt really hollow because of the Bad Wolf sets. Stories like Story in the Engine, however, worked really well hard against the studio restrictions with incredible dressing. But so much of the set work in Series 2 felt very hollow. I understand budget-wise, maybe traveling around the world UK isn't cost-effective, but I miss when the TARDIS would be on a street corner or like an actual place, not a set that's dressed up to trick you. The TARDIS being there should be the magic, not the set itself, Trying to fake a TARDIS and the set at the same time feels like a weird clash of illusion. Kind of like when they CGI'd the Yoda puppet in Phantom Menace, or when they CGI'd over the practical dinosaur in Jurassic World, the first one. I don't really want to comment on who should play the Doctor, showrunner, etc. I don't feel qualified for those discussions, oddly enough. I feel like literally anyone could be the Doctor, but scripts and stories are the blood that flows in the veins of the show. The stories keep the show alive. History is a burden. Stories make us fly. Robin Hood, Robot of Sherwood. Massive thanks again. Looking forward to hearing the pod. Y'all have been smashing it with the guests in production recently. That's all. Production-wise, that's down to Star. I'm ever so proud of you all. Thomas Mad Beach.
Thank you as always, Tom. That's not only an incredible post, but an incredibly sweet ending to that. Thank you. That's always really appreciated.
Absolutely. I just want to quickly add that yes, while I do a lot of the production, it would be nothing without the two people actually doing the fucking thing.
Oh.
I just make it sparkle. You bring all the heart.
No. Bless you.
Now, where's our fucking cannon buster?
What I will just say is, I think absolutely,
yes.
I think what Thomas really nails there, talking about things in particular about, there needs to be there needs to be magic in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Doesn't there? I agree with that. And what I would also say is that last quote, the stories keep the show alive. It's absolutely the case. And, bringing up a quote from Robin Hood and Robot of Sherwood, I'm currently reading right now, which I recommend to everyone. I picked it up on, it's still available now. Hopefully you'll be able to get it now. It's on Amazon for 99p currently. So the Kindle version is John Higgs's Exterminate, Regenerate, the Story of Doctor Who. I'm currently reading that, and the opening of that talks about how Doctor Who, in the same vein as Robin Hood or Sherlock Holmes, is a folk hero, right? And I think that's absolutely the case as well, where it's like the idea that any story you give to Doctor Who, it's like you could pour your blood into it, but it only serves and builds up this character more and more. And that's what we need to be seeing. We need to be seeing that character served better going forward. So, yeah.
Also, just going to quickly put a date on here. We're recording this on the 10th of November, 2025. So that's kind of your time frame for that little Amazon offer. Just be aware. Don't blame us if you're listening to this in the far future and it's not there anymore.
Yeah. Or if this comes out and the offer's still not there, then sorry. Yeah, get it anyway. Let's take us on to our final segment of the podcast, the Cannon Buster. Okay, so the Cannon Buster this week. Well, seeing as Doctor Who is going to return to us at Christmas 2026, I thought I defrost a little early for you both.
Oh.
And I give you...
fuck, he's got Mariah Carey.
That's all I wanted for Christmas.
It's time. I'm relative dimension in space. No. I've defrosted a little early, and I'm going to give you a tiny little Christmas morsel just early. Sir, hey, sir. It's ever so cold out. I might just need a little snippet of Christmas, a little bit of Christmas cheer. I'm going to give it. Okay. So, okay. The Doctor and Christmas. Okay. And obviously that's a long, long story. Okay. But although they were an alien, the Doctor had developed a fondness for Christmas, celebrating it since they were a boy on Gallifrey. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Doctor, as a child, is celebrating Christmas on Gallifrey. That's very cool, isn't it? However, by his 12th or by their 12th incarnation, the Doctor admits to Clara that, you know, the fact that he keeps trying to save Christmas or save the world on Christmas is starting to grate on him a bit and soured his opinion of the holiday. Something which was really sad, but the 13th Doctor carries on that as well. The Doctor, who I think is the best suited for Christmas, says she's not too keen on Christmas for similar reasons, but she does prefer New Year's instead. Do you get it, Robin? Do you get why?
I think I do, but do you want to just sort of add that on for the audiences listening in?
Well, it's because she had New Year's specials and not Christmas specials.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, super. So there you go. There's your little Christmas your little Christmas Bobby Dazzler for you.
Oh, I feel very lucky to have that. Christmas
just wouldn't be Christmas without a cannon buster.
I'm gonna go roast these nuts for you now.
Oh, that's a throwback.
What nuts there, Jack?
These nuts. Well, look, Doctor Who's coming back to us on our screens. And look, we're only 13 months out from that happening. So that's pretty cool, you know? And look, hopefully I'm going to get to see some Doctor Who filming in Cardiff, actually, you know? Because let's face it, they're going to have to start soon, aren't they? If it's out for Christmas. But who knows? I guess that's the story for later. But right now, this has been an awful lot of running. I've been Jack.
I've been Robin.
I've been Star.
Doctor Who. And it's coming back. Oh, lovely.
The long way round.
Bye, you awful people. By awful people, I mean Star and Robin. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Hello, you awful, awful people. Thank you for listening to an awful lot of running, a Doctor Who podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, then please consider liking, subscribing, sharing on social media, or even leaving us a review on YouTube or your chosen podcast platform. It really does help us out an awful lot. And we greatly appreciate it. Seriously? We greatly appreciate it. An awful lot. Okay, who writes this? Honestly, who writes this? Okay? Look, it's bad enough doing the Tom and not be paid, but like, come on guys. What do you want me to do here? You give me no script, and you expect me to go what? Oh, right, okay, that should be enough. That should be enough. Alright, bye.